Hi, everyone. My name is Erik Frantzen, and as Sandy mentioned, I'm the president of Nurture Marketing. And just a couple things that I think are relevant from my past. I started off my career working for a mid-market ERP and CRM shop, I will call it, in Boston in the late 80s. We were also back then a networking provider. So what usually happened was when someone needed accounting or finance or ERP or CRM, they didn't necessarily have a network so that everybody could use it, or they had one computer per department. So I really got a lot of background in mid-market ERP and CRM for many years. I then moved on to a company called AimNet, and it was earlier called Alpine Computer Systems. And we were actually a managed service provider starting in 1992 with a full-fledged staffed 7 by 24 by 365 staff. And then naturally, as you might assume, I moved over to the marketing side of the house because I felt like I knew a lot about the channel and I wanted to be in the middle of the channel. So I started working on the marketing side of the house and helping folks with their channel marketing programs. And it's been a great experience. And we appreciate the opportunity that Sandy has given us here today to present to you. I will toss it over to Larry.
Thank you so much, Erik. Yes, we're very pleased to be here today. My name is Larry Zusman. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer and the head of creative for Nurture Marketing. And I spent many, many years as a senior executive with the Xerox Corporation and handled partner and channel marketing for many years as well as working for SaaS companies and a lot of other different organizations which are engaged with partners on a regular basis. But today we're going to be talking about something very exciting and very timely, and that is the whole subject of Microsoft Copilot and AI and where it all fits in. So we're excited today to bring you this presentation on Microsoft Copilot, and we thank Azamba for that opportunity. You cannot, without a doubt, you cannot click on a computer screen, click on your TV, browse your smartphone without seeing something related to artificial intelligence nowadays. And what's interesting is that when you think about the fact that it actually was launched back in 1956 at the Dartmouth Conference, when John McCarthy, of course, coined the term artificial intelligence, it has come so far since then that it's almost unbelievable. But most importantly, it has now become commercialized. It's now become a vehicle that we can use, millions and millions of people around the world can use to better their lives. And it is really playing a role in our marketplace on many different levels right now. What it is and what this entire session is about, opportunity. It's really an opportunity for partners to think about a business model related to what's happening with Microsoft Copilot and artificial intelligence and ML, a business model that can take you very far. And it can start right now because it is here right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with what I like to call a flyover on the Microsoft Copilot for Dynamics 365. We'll share with you some of its capabilities, how AI is incorporated inside of it, and how you'll see things like ChatGPT in there, which of course is the OpenAI architecture. And you'll start to see how they're making it an enabler for workers in the marketplace to do so much more. We're also going to talk about partner extensibility, the idea that the wonderful opportunity that you have as a partner is to start to build AI service opportunities. And with that, expand your business. We'll talk about how to start and build a Copilot practice. And we'll mention some tools that are available to help you do that and some Microsoft application capabilities that you can bring to the marketplace. And we'll conclude with some discussions about some unique capabilities that we as a marketing agency dedicated to the channel and to channel partners, the kinds of services that we can bring to you to drive more business to you and how you can have more success. So without further ado, let me start. by giving you an overview of what Microsoft Dynamics 365 benefits are. First of all, we're talking about an interactive environment, an engaging environment between the worker, the user, who's ever using it. And it empowers the workers with tools that are really cross the spectrum of business: sales, service, marketing, operations, supply chain. All of these pieces of an enterprise start to look very different when you add in the capabilities of Microsoft Copilot. It takes full advantage of the recent advancements in generative AI that Microsoft has brought to the marketplace, and it automates a lot of the tasks to really give the workforce more capability. And when you combine CRM and ERP and you put it all together, you really have something very innovative, and it's going to improve outcomes in every LOB. But best of all, and most important to this conversation, is that Microsoft realizes the need to create a partner network of experts in AI for Copilot. And so they're offering plugins and dev kits for creating new AI applications on the Copilot platforms. Erik, I know you wanted to add some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm always thinking of things from the financial perspective and growing your businesses. And we all want annuity business, right? We've all been talking about annuity business. It's, somewhat why managed services was even invented. And we all know that, your businesses are the most healthy when you have annuity-based services. So as Larry's going through some of these slides, think about how you can use Copilot to develop annuity-based services. And then there's always almost two layers to all of this. How can you then have Copilot be part of the solution set? I think that this is fascinating because it's a 2 or 3 or 4 layered approach with Copilot where we can use it to help us do something, and then part of the solution is actually that something. It's really fascinating.
It is. It is. So let's take a look at some of the things that it can do. Here's the portfolio of Dynamics 365. You have the sales, the customer service, the marketing, the business central, and the supply chain management. And what we've done is we're going to give you an overview of all of these, but we've put in some select videos to kind of show you in reality exactly what this thing can do. So let's start with sales and Viva. So what is it doing? Well, it helps sellers dramatically reduce the time that they are doing as it relates to writing emails, summaries, Teams kinds of summaries, basically, that may be in Outlook. And what really is amazing is it's pulling in all that seller's CRM information into that specific note that you're sending or that response that you're sending. And, sellers spend 66% of their day checking and responding to emails. That's just outrageous. And this gives an opportunity to sellers spend more time with their customers and less time doing those rote kinds of tasks. Erik, any thoughts on this?
One of the things that I thought of is I was trying to make the cross between what AI can do for us and what Copilot can do for us on a personal level and on a professional level. And so I started looking online at things like Forbes magazine and the surveys that they were doing. And it's really pretty amazing that when they do a survey and they say, how can AI help you in your life? The number 1 through 3, the top answers are always responding to texts, right? So people will be comfortable, where you say some people's texts, maybe not my children, maybe not my father and my mother, but some people's texts can be responded to through AI and they'll be happy with it. What's the number 1 thing in business, as you might imagine, that Forbes magazine finds, and that's responding to email. So the fact that Microsoft is focusing so much on this, I think, is interesting. And remember, for many years, these collaborative tools, the Slacks, the Sways, the Yammers, all of these things that were going to make it so that we didn't have to be copied on every single email, but we were in the know. Some enterprise companies took advantage of this, but in my opinion, it didn't really happen because you still had to do it. So if we can build the intelligence and the typical answers that we would give to certain situations that are better than a typical frequently asked questions answers, because those are all kind of preloaded, I think that this can save us a lot of personal time and a lot of business time, just responding to certain types of communication.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is as we start to show these videos to the audience, start to think about ways that it can be extended, that hooks can be put in it to do other things. So let's take a look first here at a little bit of sample on what this solution can do inside Dynamics.
Microsoft Viva Sales revolutionizes the seller experience. Kelly is a busy seller who gets help from Copilot in Viva Sales, which is available to Dynamics 365 sales customers and as a standalone offering to connect with Salesforce CRM. Copilot helps her to craft a response. Viva Sales automatically generates a suggested reply enriched with the content from the CRM data. You can see there is a mention of the product, the number of units, and the price point, all seamlessly taken from the opportunity data and combined with the email context. With the content complete, she can simply copy the message to her email, make any minor adjustments to suit her style, and send. Not only is this far more effective than crafting a message from scratch, but Viva Sales can instantly store and update the insight back into CRM. As we take a look at Daisy, she uses the power of AI to help run world-class customer calls and meetings by taking notes so she can focus on the customer in her calls. Sales Conversation Intelligence in Microsoft Teams captures the key meeting highlights, questions asked, and even follow-ups. Now Daisy can take this data and create a simple follow-up summary across to her customer to build trust on next steps. Using Copilot, she no longer has to create her own follow-up based upon the notes. GPT generates a customer-ready meeting summary in a single click. The response embeds CRM data in previous meeting context for review and validation. This is something Daisy will see across all of the Copilot sales experiences. She can also see the linked meeting to confirm she has the correct context. Now our sellers can go do what they do best and close deals faster.
So you can see that they've incorporated the kind of intelligence that you need to get things done faster, quicker, and more efficiently. Here's another example, customer service. Customer service is a very big deal as people continue to expand their customer help desks and the agents that help people every day. But the key is to try to draft answers to queries in chat and email quickly. And that's what it does. And it harnesses the power of virtual agents that basically can create contact center kinds of environments where there's a real interactive customer service. If we look at customer insights, I think the key with that is really that what you have is you have the ability, and this is in the second point, to have a dialogue with the data platform using natural language. So here through prompts, like you do when you're prompting any type of search engine in AI, through those prompts, you're going to get highly personalized and targeted information about the segments that you're trying to get in these insights. And this is a very powerful capability because now you really can talk to data and ask it questions and get answers without going into the process of creating queries that are very complex and getting complex data back that has to be interpreted. This is a very powerful capability and has all kinds of implications for partners in terms of extensibility of the data and the data center architectures into these kinds of frameworks. This is a very interesting development. Erik, your thoughts?
Well, we work with a lot of end user customers, and we work within the channel companies like Cisco, where we help do marketing to partners, marketing through partners, marketing to end users. And everyone in the last couple of years really, really seems to have brought back up the concept of account-based marketing. So finding insight on your client that's out there in the public domain, but then also comparing it to your historical data. And if you've worked with that customer in the past. So we did some programs for Microsoft in the past with the SHI and the insights and the zones of the world. And what we found, we used a thing called Longbow that past buying behavior predicted future buying behavior. So imagine if you could look back at all of your past customers that are either dormant, could be cross-sold or upsold, or maybe they're just not maximizing what they can do with you. And then you can compare it to the insight that's out there in the public domain about what type of things they're interested in. Maybe they all just decided to go back to the office and they, contracted a new location where everyone is going to be required to go 3 days a week. That's an opportunity, for all of you. And Copilot can help targeting with insights, new accounts, dormant accounts. Copilot can absolutely help with account-based marketing in here, and everything that has to do with customer insights and everything that is related to that as well too.
Right. And this is a very, very hot time now for the whole concept of account-based marketing. So it ties together extremely well. In dynamics marketing, this is one of the areas where, of course, the whole ability of ChatGPT and all the capability of AI comes to fruition so obviously. But here you have an idea to get some real inspiration on the things that you want to build, be it in email. Copilot can make suggestions on topics entered, existing marketing emails. All kinds of different sources are put together and analyzed in AI. It doesn't mean you have to use it exactly as it comes back to you, but it gives you a framework to start. And that's why it's so powerful from a marketing perspective. Erik, did you want to mention anything here?
I kind of already said it on the last slide, but just to reiterate, I'll drive it home this way. Everyone wants third-party and first-party research, right? We've all kind of grown up in the industry with the Gartner and the IDC and the Forrester. You, with Copilot, now have your own opportunity to access third-party research that's out there on the web, again, like I said on the last slide, in the public domain, but also your own data from CRM, from marketing automation, from just even past clients that build something with you 3 years ago, but haven't maybe since post-COVID. So you are now a third party and a first party research organization if you use Copilot properly. And those are things that in the past, some of us just didn't have access to because some of these reports cost $30,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, really interesting development as marketing becomes so automated through AI, and it really changes the whole model of what you can do and how fast you can do it. One of the most interesting areas of dynamics is in supply chain centers. And the reason it's interesting is because there's warehouses everywhere, and people are really concerned about supply chain kinds of issues as they move forward. And there's a lot of integrated opportunities with supply chains when you start thinking about scanning technologies and all the other technologies that drive the whole supply chain from the beginning until the end. So what they've done basically in the linkage between Copilot and supply chain is that they've brought in external issues such as weather or geography, and then allowed you to have predictive models that tell you whether or not what you're trying to do in terms of getting from A to B is actually going to happen. Let me show you, instead of tell you here, in the next video, you'll see how supply chain and Copilot come together. It's an interesting development.
Dahlia is a supply chain planner at Kraft Heinz Company. One of their biggest challenges is keeping up with demand in the face of unexpected supply chain disruptions. Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, which is available to Dynamics 365 supply chain management customers, helps them stay close to their suppliers to ensure they are never out of stock. They can respond quickly in critical situations by identifying costly problems early and swiftly collaborating with partners to maintain healthy inventory levels. Dahlia first uses the AI-driven news module to keep a finger on the pulse of events that impact critical logistics, such as weather, workforce, or geopolitical disruptions. Today, she's presented with an article about a flood in Michigan. She sees this article has been tagged as an immediate risk, and her suppliers, Northwind Traders, Van Arsdale, and Best For You Organics Company, are affected. Dahlia selects Northwind Traders and clicks Contact Partner. She wants to confirm the impact on order dates and quantity, given the flooding in Michigan. She reviews an AI-generated email powered by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot that already contains all the relevant information referencing the flooding and specific orders in question. She opens the draft directly in her email, sees that the right contact, Mauricio, has automatically been filled in, and sends it off. With Copilot, Dahlia is able to quickly handle this task in just a few clicks, facilitating a much faster mitigation process. Mauricio from Northwind Traders responds, "The order will be delivered from an alternative Northwind Traders location with a new ETA." With Copilot in Microsoft Supply Chain Center, Dahlia was able to act swiftly, detecting problems that could have major impact to her business and taking immediate action to mitigate the disruptions without ever leaving her workflow.
So again, as I mentioned, this is a very interesting development because it starts to take external kinds of information and let you use that in effective ways to change the dynamics of the information you're getting. This is one of many of the modules that are affected by Copilot and really made much more valuable. Business Central is another one. Business Central, basically, which allows you to build product descriptions and customize text in writing styles and these kinds of things. And then you can even like link it into like a Shopify store. Business Central is another area where Copilot's playing a huge role. And what it's really doing is speeding up the ability to get things out there in terms of communication. It's really changing the communication model so that you can build a product and get it to market much faster and get that product information out there. Let's take a look at what Business Central could do in the next video.
As a small or medium-sized business, you know that great product descriptions boost sales by making products stand out from the crowd. But being creative on demand is challenging, especially when writing product descriptions for dozens or even hundreds of similar products. No one knows this better than Stan, the product manager at Nanoleaf. Nanoleaf is a pioneer of innovative smart home lighting solutions. It's an exciting time for the team as they're about to launch a new product line, but authoring engaging product descriptions for their online store takes time and creativity. Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central helps successfully launch new products with AI-powered experiences right from where you manage your inventory. Stan wants to register their new product, the Nanoleaf Skylight, and starts by uploading a picture. Business Central analyzes the image and suggests a category to minimize data entry. After quickly customizing attributes and entering price and stock levels, Stan is ready to start copywriting so he can sell online. With just a click, Copilot uses natural language technology to craft an engaging description tailored to this product and enriched with key data from the record. Getting started with copywriting has never been easier. Let's see if we can improve this further. Stan can select precisely which of the product attributes are most relevant to describe the skylight, and also choose a format of generated text for consistency across the product line. Pretty good. Nanoleaf is all about innovation, and with a few more customizations, Stan can match their brand identity and tailor this to the target audience with a more upbeat tone of voice. And look at that, a creative catchphrase followed by an informative description that presents all the facts. After a quick review and a few edits of his own, Stan's text is ready for prime time. Nanoleaf uses Business Central's first-party connector to Shopify, a leading e-commerce platform, which means that Stan is just seconds away from publishing the skylight to their web shop. And here it is, ready for you and I to purchase. Not only does Business Central accelerate time to market, but having a great product description that is engaging and informative also improves conversion rates. So stop typing and start selling with Copilot in Dynamics 365 Business Central.
When you start to think about what are the kinds of ways that partners can play a role in the future of these kinds of architectures, you begin to think about things like that example and video, and the fact that now you could link this into a video platform, these specific descriptions of these products in a video platform, and then you could take the video platform together with your product descriptions and link it into a social media channel. All of that can be done because Copilot basically has opened up its architecture to partners. And that's what this is all about. is that if you think about it, there is a huge amount of capability inside this architecture that's opened up to the partner community. They have a whole application development tool set with services and support that you can start to provide. There are plugins for 365 Copilot that integrate apps and services, including ChatGPT, Bing, Teams messages, and of course the Power Platform connectors as well. And you have tool sets that you can use basically to build next-gen AI-powered applications. There are all kinds of new kinds of development tools and IDEs that are coming out across the board by Microsoft that allow you to build these kinds of integrated opportunities. There's the whole Microsoft Fabric, which is the data management, analytics, AI, that whole capability. And that now is becoming very important as you bring data into AI with the Microsoft Fabric architecture. And from there, you can move it into other kinds of applications. And you have the whole Microsoft Azure protection side of it, where you can modernize and protect the infrastructure using that. But whether it's Windows development tools or it's Azure development tools, AI is now becoming a tool set for partners to grow a whole new business practice. And just like when you think about the fact that the cloud was really invented in about 1991, as we all know, and that the year 2000, that whole decade of 2000, was the decade of the cloud. And resellers and partners and integrators asked themselves, what's going to happen? Is there going to be an opportunity here? How could I grow my business? You think back to that kind of event that took place. And now you look and shoot forward to 2023 and 24, and you say, yes, AI is in the same place that the cloud was back then. And now it's becoming a very important business opportunity. It's not just a capability, it's an opportunity for partners to really go into a whole new business practice and become experts in this. And that's what this is really all about, is looking at it from the standpoint of opportunity across the board. Erik, your thoughts?
So I think that you always have two things that you need to think of in situations like this. So these are your opportunities to partner with Microsoft on a set of tools to build a practice, but you have to have clients, right? So this is a little bit of a preview. We're going to talk about some things on other slides about how do you get those clients. But everything that you write for copy or content, or you have Copilot write for you, think of it in what I keep calling like the multi-layered opportunity. So partner to partner. So it can be another Microsoft partner that doesn't sell these things that you can do what we call a P2P engagement with. It can be the Microsoft field. It can be for end users, like with something like AppSource, a lot of the end user facing Microsoft websites with videos and graphics. Then when it says find a partner, it drives you to AppSource. It's on the same tool that we use to go find a partner-to-partner opportunity or delivery partner that the Microsoft field uses. It could be Veeam, right? The backup partner is looking to offer a complete solution through a third-party partner, again, like an SHI or a Zones, or it could just be an end-user campaign. So everything that you develop here, just start to think that there's 4 different tiers of the channel that you can partner with to deliver these things and make sure that it fits and that it is written in a way that all of those parties are going to bring opportunities to you.
Yeah, I mean, and the extensibility opportunities are huge if you think about this, right? So you've got the ability to customize with these plugins all kinds of productivity and skills and creativity. You can do several different things. You can customize and connect applications to Copilot using the plugins that Microsoft offers. You can ground the Copilot in the content and data and even get more insights and more connections and just expand the whole organizational context of how they're using AI tools. And there's this idea of security and compliance and all of that. And now you're talking about, okay, so you've got Copilot in an organization. How do you make sure it's used the most effective way? How do you make sure it's protected legally in terms of the kinds of things people are doing? It's another whole business opportunity for partners to become experts in the launch of Copilot, and how do you operationalize it in an organization in the most effective way? And what's so exciting is that AI is here to stay. And as it continues to grow and add more capability and more functionality across the board, all these questions and this knowledge base are going to become more and more important to have. And those that have are going to be very, very advantaged over those who have not. Here, if you look at the opportunity matrix, here's a good opportunity matrix for Copilot across the board as you think about the kinds of things you might want to do, whether you're a global systems integrator or a systems integrator that does work with SMBs, or you're a licensed service provider in terms of Microsoft's capability and the kinds of things that you offer. There's always opportunities. You can deploy it, you can help sell it, you can deal with adoption and change management as they put it into their organization, and you can certainly extend it further by exposing data to line of business systems and enable access by Copilot to this data that then becomes a more intelligent framework for the organization. Recently, Microsoft published a list of current plugin partners, and these are new ones that have just come aboard. And I guarantee that this list is added to on a weekly basis, not even a monthly basis, as more and more plugin partners begin to play and have interest in the whole architecture that Microsoft is essentially building. And if you look at things like Monday.com and Asana, these project management tools, and the other types of plugins that they're involved in, you start to see how all the different software pieces in an organization are going to start to gel together and have tentacles into each other in the AI world, so that information is flowing back and forth between all these different systems in the best way for the enterprise. There is no way that this can be done without intelligent integrators and partners and systems integrators coming in and understanding what the organization is trying to achieve and what tool sets they need to do it, and to put all these different technologies together to create answers to business problems. Erik, your thoughts?
So, as I told you earlier, I started this in 1987. So I'm a bit of a channel historian. So this may not mean a lot to some of you, but Microsoft was not always great at this. So Bill and Steve felt like Microsoft could solve every problem and they didn't need strategic partners. Satya is actually really great at this, but it also really kind of started with the whole Dynamics acquisition. The gentleman who just decided not to run for president anymore, Doug Bergman, actually was instrumental in producing something called, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes now, The List. And The List is like 35 years old. And every single thing that you needed to do on Great Plains, you could find a third-party add-on to. And the cloud and Dynamics 365 and Business Central have made this type of thing so much easier. And I think they've carried this forward of really selecting, the best type of partners for end users, for verticals, for backup, for, meeting HIPAA requirements, you name it. And again, it's an opportunity for you as not just technology solution providers, but business solution providers to learn end user clients' businesses with these add-ons and give them a solution that's very specific to them, which, years ago we really didn't have, from what was the Microsoft tech stack of years ago.
And the list continues to grow. I mean, if you check it out every single week, there's more and more players that are now more interested than ever in forming this partnership in this, what really is defined as an artificial intelligence ecosystem. That's really what it's becoming very, very clearly. But how do you build a Copilot practice? That's the question. So you've seen what it can do. You've seen the future. You've seen today what is going on in terms of the push into this from every perspective. How do you build what is really a new business model or an existing business model at a different level? There are some key things to think about. First of all, you have to look at the landscape and define, what do you want to do as a partner? Where do you fit into this capability? And if you do have interest, what kinds of skills are you going to have to develop? The time to develop those skills is right now. The information is growing so fast at a meteoric scale, and the amount of development that's being done on every level is so great that if you delay, it'll be so difficult to catch up. So what we're advising is really to start now. Get some AI fundamental capabilities and knowledge, and start to look at what the resources are available to you. There are technical resources everywhere related to ChatGPT, OpenAI, Copilot technical resources, plugins that are capable of doing the things you want to do. There's IDEs out there that allow you to basically, really create software development and build applications as you need to. And then once you figure out exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it, the key is to start to get yourself ready to prepare your organization for selling that capability into the market, and start looking at who are the right targets for this. Who are the organizations that are beyond thinking about AI and actually ready to implement it? How do you find them? How do you engage with them? How do you sell them? And how do you build a business with them? And there's lots of ways of looking at that. One of the tools available to you, one of the resources available to you, is a website that I'm sure you're familiar with, which is the Microsoft AppSource website. The Microsoft AppSource website has gone through many, many transitions over the years, starting with a very different kind of model than what it is today. Today, it's a very powerful resource for organizations looking for organizations like yours, and software applications that can do the things they want to do to accomplish the things that they have as key objectives. You have the ability to create a listing based on a set of categories, industries, and product keywords that will drive prospects directly to your solution, generate interest, and if you have software, it'll spur first run experiences on those applications. It allows you to drive new business from your website, and it allows you to have customer reviews on the site so that you get higher up in the search criteria that the resource actually has built into it. So, and there's ongoing reporting that tells you where you are in the process. But it is not as intuitive as everybody thinks, because the point is, you really need to think about, what is the perfect listing? How do I create the activity interest I need? What kind of demos do I need? What kind of support from presentation and pitch decks do I need, etc.? And so what we've introduced to the marketplace to help you get through the navigation that's required with AppSource, and to optimize it on a regular basis, so month to month you're getting more business as a result of your listing, as a result of the things that you're adding to it, is that we're introducing something called the AppSource Accelerator. And this is a service that we're providing to partners that will allow you to hone your listing and everything that is part of the AppSource Accelerator, so that you can get the most value, but most importantly, the most response in terms of the things that you're looking for, and get the most interest generated from prospects. And we're offering a discount for IAMCP members. And so we'd ask you to take a look at this website to learn more. And Erik, I know you have some thoughts on this.
It's all about the algorithm. So if this is too rich for your blood, we understand, but we'll also give you some free advice. So if you're going to put anyone who's listening to this or who watches the recording afterwards, get in touch with Sandy, and we'll definitely give you our opinion in terms of how your profile is written and what things could be enhanced. And look, we're always, some of you might remember Pinpoint from many years ago, before Partner Center, before it was just called Partner Center. So our team did 1,000 Pinpoint entries, and we learned a lot about how these algorithms work and how they change. But you're all very smart people. Go back and search it like every 3 weeks. The keywords that you want to come up associated with, don't just go put it up there and pray that someone will will land on your result, or you'll always stay. It's just like search engine optimization. So learn that algorithm, and maybe even put a calendar reminder or use Copilot to remind you every couple of weeks, and have different people in your organization. Go search on the main things that we do and see how high we came up, and just keep a log and say, this is what we came, this is where you landed on us last month and the month before. It's all about the algorithm.
It is. So if you have more interest, please check out our website or contact Sandy, and she'll be happy to help you. Let me move to another service that I wanted to share with you that we offer that I think can be of great value to partners as you begin to look at not only just AI, but a lot of the solutions that you sell. One of the challenges when you're trying to market to customers is to identify the right customers to market to. And the best customers to market to are those that are predetermined to have interest in your solution. That's done through intent data service capabilities. And we brought to the market this product called Gold Rush Intent Data Services. And it really is targeted to partners in the way it's put together. What it allows you to do, is to identify accounts who are in the market for your solution today. So the data basically can select, this software can select accounts that have shown interest in a solution category that you're involved in selling through keywords. But what it does that's so powerful is it will track your accounts on a month-by-month basis. And as a result of a scoring of how many times that account has searched for information related to your solution, it creates a buying stage, which allows you to identify where they are in the process of evaluating that type of solution. So is the account basically just starting their engagement, or are they very involved with understanding what the solution can do? Or are they so far along that there's so much activity from that organization that it's clearly an organization ready to talk to you about that solution? And the key is to catch the buying stage early in the process so that you can be part of the discussion and engage them with the value that you provide in offering that solution. Now, not only does it give accounts, but the system also infers from that account who within that account, for example, in the IT entire structure of the company, we have a lot of different personas, but who are all the different contacts and titles that most likely are engaged in the discussion about that solution? And it will give you those contacts with their current contact information. So it's an amazing tool. And our customers are using it in sales meetings with their sales organizations, where they're using this application and saying, okay, these are our targets. These are the people interested in what we are offering. So if that's of interest to you, if you have interest in knowing who within your marketplace is predisposed, predetermined, interested, and showing interest across the board in a solution set that you offer, please contact us and we'll tell you more about our Gold Rush intent data services. It is specifically and ideally suited for channel partners and the kinds of solutions that they sell every day. I wanted to also share with you the fact that the organization Nurture Marketing and Bumblebee, we have an entire portfolio, a comprehensive portfolio of marketing capabilities that we can bring to you. We can refresh your databases. And as I mentioned, we have the intent data engine as well. We do full-blown demand gen campaigns where we might be involved with emails or landing pages or social posts. We do websites for channel partners. And this is an area where many channel partners, like the shoemaker and his elves, have really not gone forth and redeveloped their website to look like it needs to look to compete in this marketplace today. They've just been too busy doing technical support and growing their business in every other way. And now they've come around full circle and said, we really need to look at our website. It's 10 years old and it doesn't have the functionality and the capability and the appearance it needs to be effective. We work with partners and we build these websites for them. And if you need short elevator videos on your company and things like that, we specialize with a whole video department as well. So new content development, if you need to run a webinar, we do that. And we certainly can handle local events. A lot of people are doing field marketing events now, and we have a whole event division in our Bumblebee division that does event marketing as well. So we have a whole comprehensive portfolio that you can draw from. And we urge you, if you're interested in that, to either contact Erik, and I have his contact information on my next slide, or certainly you could speak to Sandy. So that concludes the bulk of the presentation today. I'd like to thank everybody for attending and leave you with a final thought that AI is here right now. You have the ability to become expert in a technology that will only grow every single year in an exponential way. It's a huge business opportunity. And we can't stress enough that it's time. It's time to really look at what it is, how you fit into this ecosystem, and where you can really create a new business practice that generates long-term growth for your organization. And again, our thanks to Sandy. Sandy, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Larry. I actually wrote down a couple of notes that I thought maybe we could expand upon a little bit. One is about AppSource and the importance of AppSource. And I can't tell you how many partners I talk to that say, Microsoft wanted me to get an app in AppSource, and, I went through everything I needed to do on the back end and my listing's there, but I'm not getting any traction. And I just think we might want to expand a little bit upon that. It isn't, get the listing up and they will come. It's the importance of all of these things that go with it. Right, Erik?
Totally. And if you still know those partners or any of the partners on this or the rebroadcast or the on demand, we'll take a look at it. We'll give you our opinion. It's the same thing with that we experienced with Pinpoint. So many partners said, I have my profile up there. We went back and we looked at the profile, and we know the things that absolutely lead to that feeling where you're not getting hits and you're not getting traction. But there are plenty of partners that are.
Yeah, it's the algorithm, as Erik mentioned, but there's also some real tricks to the trade. You really need to understand how to build listings that are effective and differentiating. And there's some content up there like demos and presentations and a lot of other things that are really almost, they don't say they're required, but they are to generate a higher search engine capability. And it is a little bit of magic and a little bit of knowledge, and you combine the two, and you can get something that works well for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
agreed. And I just wanted to go back to when you were talking about building a Copilot practice. We all know that some companies just won't be able to do that. They don't have the resources, they don't have the bandwidth to do that. And that is a perfect opportunity to partner. Find partners that are up on Copilot, are implementing it, are doing some fantastic things with it, and partner with those providers and come up with some unique packaging, perhaps, that working together you can go to market with. I don't know if you guys want to expand on that anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? I also think that, ironically enough, that's right in outsource. So, let's
Yep.
say you have a lot of doctors' offices. So one of our Texas Microsoft partners has a lot of small doctors' offices, and right on outsource, they found a HIPAA healthcare provider that that understood AI very well, and they partnered with them. So sometimes the answer is right there, the partner to partner opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's such a big area, the whole AI space, right? That a lot of partners are really creating a niche for themselves. Like they're going after a specific capability, like bringing chat GPT into a specific industry and becoming expert in that, or looking at an integration between Copilot and some other software and kind of combining that. And that's becoming their expertise. You can't be all things to all people in this business. This AI quote business is too big, but
Exactly.
there's so many opportunities. And that's why, as we mentioned, you first got to decide what you think the strategy is within your organization. Where are your skill sets, and what skill sets can you add easily into your organization to become more technically competent in these areas? You can't know it all, but you certainly can know some things, and that will be more than the next person knows as we move forward.
And just one last question or comment. I love your Gold Rush offering. What does it take for a partner to get up and running on Gold Rush? Is it, weeks? Is it months? Is it, how quickly?
I think what we do is we have to drag for a couple of weeks, is what we call it. So we talk to the partner about the keywords, and we drag for a few weeks. So the region, the size company, the vertical, and then we see if it is harvesting, if the tool is harvesting the type of opportunities that the partner wants. It's not a fit for everybody. We found pretty much in the channel that it's a fit for a lot. But sometimes, something is so specific, and, we'll run into like maybe a very specific ISV, and it's so specific that, the leads are either going to be too general, or they're going to be few and far between. It's like sometimes, you just even on the regular search engine optimization, it's like, hey, I'm the #1 search rank result in something
Right.
Nobody ever searches for.
Yeah.
So what we'll first do is we first do a test to see what impact we think it'll have, and that's free.
Right.
Then, to get up and running, I would say, Sandy, to get up and running is not a big deal. It can be a week, it can be 30 days. To get everybody to embrace it. So
Right.
the opportunity that we show is actually a Office 365 or M365 and CRM and ERP partner that we've done this for about a year for, and they allow us to show their results. So what we
Right.
do is, so we're able to actually show a Dynamics partner.
That's great. Larry, did you have something that you?
Well, I think the key difference between the Gold Rush data service and any other intent data capability is that we're really designed to be over time. You really need to have the trends over time. And that's what this offering basically kind of encourages people to do, so that it's a monthly offering. But what's so important is that over time you start to see the growth in a specific solution area. So you take a look at, and you take a solution that you're selling basically, and you put it into this engine, and then you find out that in March, X number of companies are looking at it, and they're just looking at it. And then in April, it starts to show that there's a group of them that are very serious about it and are ready to buy, and then it trends. And so the company's ratings change over time. And as those ratings continue to grow up the curve, then the buying stage becomes more and more important to you as you start to think of when to engage them. That's the real power of the Gold Rush service offering, is that over time, you start to understand exactly how that solution is trending in terms of interest. And catching the right time is the key. So as soon as you see it rise on an inclined plane into the buying stages, that's when you start engaging that company. And you know, whether you call them, whether you reach the contacts, I mean, just engaging them in some way and saying, you know, we have this solution, perhaps you're interested. The fact is, you know, they're interested, but you don't need to tell them that. You just
Right.
need to imply the fact that maybe you're interested in this, la, la, la. And the next thing you know, they say, well, you know, we actually are thinking about this. Come on in, let's have a conversation. And that's how it starts. So it's got huge potential in the marketplace. And intent data is now one of the major tools that organizations are using to try to identify those in market and most interested accounts.
Yeah, we could
And we
do
hope
a
you'll
whole
take a look at it.
we could do a whole session on Gold Rush, and I think we should in the future.
We welcome that opportunity, of course.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Just real quick, again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. On the screen, I've got the email addresses for both Erik and Larry, so you can reach out to them. I also popped it in the Q&A during the presentation, so please feel free to reach out to either one of them if you have any additional questions, comments, or want to find out more about any of the offerings that they have. And also just a quick shameless plug for our next episode, episode 9, where we're going to take a look at CRM in a Can, which is a power app developed by Azamba, based on Dataverse. It's a CRM for those smaller companies, startups where Dynamics 365 might be a bit much for them, along with which we've integrated, with Influence. So we're going to show you a little bit about CRM in a Can with Influence marketing. And that will be on January 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, in the Q&A in the chat, I put in the link to go ahead and register for that. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us today. It was great having you. We hope to see you on a future webcast.